platform. In today's video, we'll start a topic called partnership. It is an application of ratios and proportions, which means that the points or the basics which were discussed in ratios topic, that same points will be applied in partnership also. And it is also an application of ratios topic as well. So from this topic, we'll get 2 to 3 questions or a minimum of 1 question for any competitive exam and for the placement point of view also. So having basics regarding partnership will help us to solve the problems related to partnership questions. So in today's class, we'll go with in detail explanation regarding partnership and how to solve the questions and what are the terminology involved in that and what is meant by partnership. So these are all the questions we'll say in this video. And let's start today's video with a definition regarding partnership. So usually what is meant by partnership means it is a formal agreement or it is an agreement between two or more persons, or it may be of people or it may be of entities to run a business for a profit. For example, there are of two persons, let us consider A and B are the two persons wishes to start a business. So in order to start a business, they need a capital of, let us assume, 10 lakhs rupees, the capital amount they needed. So what they decided means A and B decided to invest the amount equally. So they'll decide distributing equal amounts or whatever the amounts which they had. So in partnership, each a person contribute money or property or labor or skill and shares the profits or losses in the business. And there are several types of arrangements or several types of partnerships. So sometimes in the questions we'll give it as a sleeping partner, active partner, managing partner, working partners. So these are some terminology which will involve in the partnership. So these all needed, not needed for us, but we need to know the basic terminology involved in the partnership. So what is the terminology involved in partnership? So the key terms related to partnership are investment, or will sometimes we call as capital, and the time period, and the next one is a profit. So usually, suppose persons invest some amount or capital in the business for certain time period. After the time period, the persons will receive either profits or losses. But usually in the business, or every person start a business in the intention of receiving profits. So in our problems, we'll solve majority of the problems based on the persons are receiving profits only. We hardly didn't solve the problems regarding the losses based questions. So mainly focuses on the profits based questions. And what is the formula involved by using these two terminologies or these two relations? So profit will be equals to investment or the time period. Profit will be equals to investment into time period. So in a simple terminology, we can write it as P is equals to I into T. Suppose if there are of two persons in the business, the profits ratio can be written as P1 is to P2 is equals to I1 T1 and I2 T2. Suppose if there are of three persons in the business, it can be written as P1 P2 P3, that will be equals to I1 investment for T1 time period, I2 investment for T2 time period, I3 investment for T3 time period. So remember these formulas are this is a basic formula which we'll use in our entire partnership topic, that is profit is equals to investment into time period. So these are the three terms which are involved in the partnership topic. Let's see some examples before going to the actual problem. Let's see some basic examples to understand this topic clearly. So let us consider an example that there are of, let us assume there are of two persons in the started a business. and each with a capital of 10 lakhs. So suppose if we assume the two persons are A and B, those two persons individually kept in the business of 10 lakh rupees. So A invest 10 lakh rupees and B also invest 10 lakh rupees. And at the end of year, so which means at the end of year they got a profit of 6 lakhs. Then what he asking the question is what is the amount received by each person, or what are the profits received by the each person. Say, sometimes they'll mention amount or profit. What are the profits received by the each person? So in the question he gave investments. Each invest an amount of 10 lakh rupees and the total profit he gave it as 6 lakhs rupees and at the end of year, which means if in the question he didn't mention anything about a time period, so we'll consider the time period as a constant one, or let us consider it as a each one are in the business for 1 year. So A invested for, suppose let us assume there are two persons are A and B. So let us take A and B are the two persons. A invested 10 lakh rupees and B invested 10 lakh rupees. And A was in the business for complete 1 year and B also in the business for one complete year. And what is the basic formula? We have P is equals to I into T. So here time period is a constant one. When time is constant, profit and investment are directly proportional. And here also here lakh and lakh get cancelled, 10 and then also get cancelled. So here also will get 1 is to 1. So investments are in the ratio of 1 is to 1 and time periods are also in the ratio of 1 is to 1. We multiply 1 with 1, we'll get profits are also in the ratio of 1 is to 1, which means that two parts will be equals to 6 lakhs. Then A and B will receive an equal amount. That is, A will receive 3 lakhs as a profit and B also will receive 3 lakhs as a profit. So when remember that when the persons invest the same amount and the time period is also constant one, here time is a constant one. So profits are also shared according to the investments ratio. Sometimes here those two persons are also invest the different amounts. So accordingly the amounts will. Suppose if we assume A invest 10 lakhs, B invest 5 lakhs. So what is the ratio? Here the ratio is 2 is to 1. In this ratio only the profits are said, which means 3 parts will be equals to 6 lakhs. So what is the amount received by A means A will receive 4 lakhs and B will receive 2 lakhs rupees as his profit. So when time period is a constant one, we'll share investments or we share profits according to their investments ratio. Next, let us consider another set of example. Here there are of two persons, A and B, started a business with a capital of 10 lakhs and 5 lakhs rupees respectively. And at the end of year, they got a profit of 6 lakhs. What are the amount received by the each person, or what are the profits received by the each person? So as I said previous in the example that here A is investing 10 lakhs and B is investing 5 lakhs and both are investing for 1 year. So here we'll get a 2 is to 1. So 3 months will be equals to 6 lakhs. So A will receive 4 lakhs and B will receive 2 lakhs as I explained in the previous example case. So here we are taking time period as a constant one, and when time period is a constant one, so we'll take a profit directly proportional to the investments ratio. So this is one kind of example. Next we'll consider one more example. So here is another example. So there are of two persons A and B, similar two persons. So they are investing an amount of A is investing 10 lakh rupees and B is investing 5 lakh rupees. And at the end of year they got a profit of 6 lakhs. And what is the amount received by the each person? So this is also very similar kind of example. Okay, here some data is missing. Okay, we'll consider some other example here. Okay, consider two persons A and B with a capital of 10 lakh and 5 lakhs. So B is an active partner here, and for managing the business, he'll receive a salary of 60,000 per year. At the end of year, they got a profit of 6 lakhs as a profit. Then what is the amount received by the each person? So there are of two persons A and B. Among these two persons A and B, only B is the active partner and A is not an active partner. So for managing the business by B, So B is receiving some extra amount, or B is receiving an annual salary of 60,000. So what we need to do, so after deducting this 60,000 or the salary for B, we need to share the profits according to their investments and time period ratio. So here he didn't mention anything about time period, means so they are in the business for complete 1 year and the investments are 10 lakhs and 5 lakhs. So first what we need to do is we need to subtract the salary of B from the total profit. So here they are both A and B are getting a total profit of 6 lakhs. So B is getting an amount of 60,000 for managing the business as he is an active partner. So if we subtract 60,000 from 6 lakhs, we'll get to 5.4 lakhs. So these 5.4 lakhs has to be divided among A and B in the ratio of their investments and time period. So here A is investing 10 lakhs and B is investing 5 lakhs. So both are in the business for complete 1 year. So profits are shared in the ratio of 2 is to 1, which means that the three parts will be equals to 5.4 lakhs. So A will receive 3.6 lakhs as his profit and B will receive 1.8 lakh as his profit. And for managing the business, B is receiving some extra amount. That extra amount is 60,000. So in total, B will receive an amount of 2.4 lakhs. Suppose if in the question, if active partner or managing partner like that, we'll first what we need to subtract the total subtract the amount from the total profit, and whatever the amount which is left at the end, that amount we need to distribute among those two or three persons. I hope we understand these problems. Let us move to the okay. This will be the actual set of problems. Let us see this question. So there are of three persons A, B, and C invest an amount of 1600 and 1800 and 2300 respectively in a business. So the three persons investments are given as a 1600 and 1800 and 2300. What should be the share of B? The total profit is 399. If nothing mentioned about time period, so we'll consider that one as a time period is a constant one. As I told, when time period is a constant one, profit and investment are directly proportional. So whatever the investments ratio, profits are also distributed according to that investments ratio only. Let's see here. So investments are given as 1600 and 1800 and 2300 and the time period is a constant one. So if we multiply profit is equals to investment to time period, we'll get 1600 and 1800 and 300 only. So these two zeros and two zeros get eliminated. So I'll get it as a 16 is to 18 is to 23 as their profits ratio. And if we add this one 16, 18 and 23, that will be equals to 57 parts. That 57 parts value gave it as a 399, which means one part will be equals to 7. So what he is asking in the question, so he is asking us to find the value of B's profit or B's share. So B's share is of 18 parts. So 18 sevens is of how much? So 18 into 7 is of 126. So the profit received by the person B is of 126 rupees among the total profit of 399. So which is presented in option D. I hope we understand this problem. So in partnership problems, so we'll get more amounts, that is 50,000, 60,000, 90,000 like that. So what we need to eliminate the common numbers or common elements present in those numbers in order to get a simple numbers or simplified equation. Let's move to the next question here. Okay, here is the next question. In a business, A and C invested an amount in the ratio of 2 is to 1. So the two persons A and B investments ratio is given, that is 2 is to 1. And whereas the ratio between the investments about A and B gave as 3 is to 2. In ratio, we already discussed this point. Suppose if A and B are the two persons and B and C are the two persons, if A and B ratio gave us something 1 is to 2 and B and C ratio gave us 2 is to 1. So what we need to do? So we need to make a common element to be same in both the ratios. So here also in these two ratios, so here A and C ratio is given and here A and B ratio is given. So in both the ratios, who will be common? So in both the ratios, A will be the common person. So in In first ratio, A is of 2 parts. In second ratio, A is of 3 parts. But we need to make A to be of same in both the ratios. So if we do that one, what is asking? They are getting a total profit of 1,57,300 as their profit, and is asking us to find what is the B share or what is the profit of B. So if we not to simplify that before, we need to find the ratio of A and B and C. So C is to A ratio gave it as a investments of A is to C gave it as a 2 is to 1. So here we are writing it as a C is to A, nothing problem. So it will be written as a 1 is to 2, and A is to B ratio gave it as a 3 is to 2. So here A is of 2 parts, and but here B is of 3 parts. So we need to make the value to be. I already explained in the ratios tab clearly how to find the combined ratios. So A, B, C. If two ratios are given, or three ratios are given, and four ratios are given, how to find the combined ratios of ABC and ABCD, ABCD. So refer the class before watching on in order to understand this topic clearly. So we'll get the ratio of A, B, C as a 6 is to 4 is to 3. So what is asking the question? So he asking us to find what is the share of B. So the share of B is of 4 parts. Suppose if only 4 multiple was present in the options, that will be our answer. So 48 is a 4 multiple, 47 is not an 4 multiple, and 48, okay, this may be or also 4 multiple, this is not also 4 multiple. So among these, our answer to be either option A or option C. So I'm not able to find my answer exactly. So that's why I need to find the total number of parts here. So 6 plus 4 plus 3, that will be equals to 13 parts. That 13 parts value gave it as 1,57,300, which means one part will be equals to 11,000, okay, 12,100. So what we need to find? So we need to find 4 parts value. So one part value will be equals to 12,100. So we need to find 4 parts value. So 4 into 12,100, that will be equals to 48,400. So B will receive an amount of 48,400 as its a share. So which is presented in option C. I hope you understand this problem. And meanwhile, you can also share this video with your friends and family members whom you feel it is helpful for them. And if you have any doubts regarding this video, you can also message to our support number or support mail ID provided here. And you can also follow us on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter platforms. From there, you can find some exciting content regarding placement point of view, and as well as for some competitive various competitive exams. So try to share this video and reach to maximum number of people. Let's move to the next question here. And here is the next question. SKG and you invest in a partnership in the ratio. So which means he gave the investments ratio as 8 is to 13 is to 19. And if their ratio of their returns means profits, and profits ratio gave it as 4 is to 26 is to 19. So what he is asking us to find? So he is asking us to find investment time period. Investment time period nothing but he is asking us to find the time period of the investments ratio. So we know the basic formula is, what is the basic formula? Profit is equals to investment into time period. So in the question he gave the investment and he gave the profits. So we need to find the T value. So we have basic formula P is equals to I into T. So here we are having profits ratio and investments ratio, and we need to find the time period. So if I transfer this I to this one, profit divided by investment, that will be equals to time period. So accordingly I will divide the ratios here. So profit ratio gave it as, so first I am writing the profit. Why? Because profit divided by investment will give me the time period ratio. So 4 is to 26 is to 19, and investments ratio gave it as 8 is to 13 is to 19. And if I divide these things here, I'll get it as so 4 by 8, I'll get 1 by 2, 26 by 13, that will get, I'll get 2, 19 by 19, I'll get 2. So if I take the LCM of 2 here, why? Because I need to eliminate the denominator one here. So I'll take the LCM as 2 here. And if I take the LCM, it will become what? 1 is to 4 is to 2. So these are the time period ratio. So it is presented in option A. I hope you understand this problem. All you need to remember the basic concept or the basic formula. The basic formula is profit is equals to investment into time period. And accordingly, we need to substitute the values to get the desired answer or required answer. I hope you understand this problem. Let's move further by discussing some other different kind of problems. Okay, here is the next problem. A and B start a business with 5,000 and 6,000. So first initially the business has been started by A and B with the capitals of 5,000 and 6,000. C joins them after 3 months with a capital of 8,000. So initially A and B started a business with 5,000 and 6,000. C joins them with after 3 months, which means that A and B are in the business for initial 3 months. After 3 months, C joined with a business of or with the investment of 8,000. And after that, what happened means B leaves the business. So B left the business after another 3 months, which means C joined the business after the start of 3 months. And when after C joining the uh, after the business, after 3 more months, B left the which means B left the business, which means B was in the business only for 6 months. And here nothing was mentioned about A, which means A was in the business for complete year. And C joined 3 months later, which means he was in the business only for 9 months. Why I am still telling like this? Here gave it as a total annual profit. So which means the business was run for only 1 year. So they got a profit of 21,000. So he asking us to find the value of C here. If we arrange things here, so the investment ratio gives 5,000, 6,000, and 8,000. So I am eliminating the common three zeros here. Three zeros get eliminated. So it will become as 5 is to 6 is to 8. And the time periods ratio gave us. So here nothing was mentioned about A, which means A was in the business for complete year. And B left after 6 months. So he was in the business only for 6 months. And C joined the business after 3 months from the start of business, which means C was in the business only for 9 months. And we need to, so in order to get the profit, the profit is equals to investment into time period. So 12 5 is of 60, 6 6 is of 36, 8 9 is of 72. And if we eliminate the common numbers present, suppose common numbers present in these numbers was 12 table, 12 fives, 12 threes, and 12 6. It will become what? 5 is to 3 is to 6, which means we add all these things, it will become what? 14 parts. That 14 parts will be equals to 21,000. So what we need to find? So we need to find the value of C share. C share is nothing but 6 parts value. So we need to find 6 parts value. So one part. So first we need to find one part value. So if we find one part value, suppose 7 twos and 7 threes, which means one part will be equals to 1500. So we need to find the value of 6 parts. 6 parts value will be 16 to 1500, that will be equals to 9,000. So the profit received by the among the total amount of 21,000 is of 9,000. So which is presented in option D. I hope you understand this problem. And if you have any clarity among these problems, try to message to our support number. We'll clarify that. Or meanwhile, you can also post your queries in the chat box. Let's move to the next question. A, B, C are the three persons or started a business. A invests money for 4 months and claims 1 by 8 of the total profit. B invests money for 6 months and claims one third of the total profit, while C invests 1560 for 8 months. Then how much money does A and B investment? So read this question carefully. This is something is typical question, but if we understand the question, it will be easy. So he gave the data related to time periods. So A was in the business for 4 months, B was in the business for 6 months, and C was in the business for 8 months. So he gave the time periods of A, B, and C. And what he gave the data related to profits. A claims 1 by 8 of the total profit, and B claims 1 by third of the total profit, and C for regarding C, he gave the investment. So which means C, only the investment of C was given. That is 1560, and asking us to find what is the investment of A and B. So in order to find that one, first we need to find. So first we need to assume the what will be the total profit. So profit we can assume it as it is a multiple of 8 comma 3. So the multiple of 8 comma 3 is of what, or the LCM of 8 comma 3 is of 24. So the total profit we will assume it as 24 parts. Out of 24 parts, A is claiming how many parts? So 1 by 8 of the total profit. So 1 by 8 of the total profit is how much? Okay, let's see here explanation. So 24 will be the total profit. Out of 24 parts, A is claiming 1 by 8 of the total profit, which means A is claiming 3 parts out of 24 parts, and B is claiming one third of the total, one third of the profit. So what is one third of 24, which is 8. So A is claiming 3 parts and B is claiming 8 parts among the total of 24 parts. So the remaining will be claimed by whom? So the remaining claimed by C only. Why? Because A and B will receive 11 parts and the remaining will be received by C. So I gave the time period ratio. Time periods I gave it as 4 is to 6 is to 8, and he gave the data related to only the investment. So we know the formula, profit is equals to investment into time period. In order to find the investment, investment is equals to profit divided by time period. Profit divided by time period, 3 by 4, 8 by 6, 13 by 8. And if we simplify that one, it will become what? 3 by 4, 8 by 6 and 13 by 8. And if we eliminate and if we take the LCM of these 8 comma 6 comma 4, and we'll get these values. That is 18 is to 32 is to 39. 18 is to 32 is to 39. So in the question, so we'll get the investment ratio. In the question, he gave the data related to investment of C. This 39 parts value he gave it as a 1560. What we need to find? So we need to find what will be the 18 parts and what will be 32 parts. So here's the 39 parts value he gave it as 1560, which means one part will be equals to 40. So B will receive 32 parts. So 32 into 40, that will be equals to 1280, and A will receive 18 parts. 18 into 40, that will be equals to 720. So which is presented in what he asked about. So first he gave the option regarding A. So first option must be 720. Here two options is 720 was present. And what is B profit? B profit will be, or B investment to be of 1280. So 1280 presented in option B. The answer to this particular problem will be option B. So when this type of questions give or give the data related to claims 1 by 8 or 1 by 3rd, 1 by 4th, 1 by 3. So what we need to do is we need to assume the total profit first, and accordingly we need to solve. So this is the easiest way to solve the problems regarding the investments and profits data. Let's see some other kind of question with this. Okay. Here is the next kind of question. A started a business with 26,000, and after 3 months B joined with 16,000, which means for the initial 3 months A was only in the business. So he investing with a capital of 26,000. After 3 months, B invested 16,000. After some more months, C joined with the capital of 25,000, which means after joining B, so B joined the business after 3 months. After joining of B, after some more time, which means after some more months, suppose let us assume some X months after C joined. Next, at the end of year, they got a total profit of 15,453. So C is getting rupees 3,825 as his share. So C's profit he gave it as out of total profit of 15,453. C is receiving an amount of 3,825 as his share. So what is asking us to find after, okay, how many months after B joined the business did C join? So after how many months C joined the business after B? Suppose B joined after 3 months. After joining of B, C joined the business how many months later? So that value we need to find. So see here. So if we take the 3% ratio, A is investing an amount of 26,000. So we are eliminating the common numbers. There is three zeros we are eliminating here. So A was in the business for complete year, that is 1 year, 12 months, and B invested 16,000. So B joined the business 3 months later, which means B was in the business only for 9 months, and C invested an amount of 25,000, and he was in the let us assume he was in the business for X months. Is not our answer. We'll find it later. So if we simplify that one, it will become what? 312 is to 144 is to 25x. So in the question he gave it as they will receive A, B, C will receive a total profit of 15,440 or 453, and out of this C will receive how much? 3,825. So if we take the ratio here, A plus B plus C divided by C here, 15,453 divided by 3,830 25, that will be equals to 312 plus 144 plus 25x divided by 25x. If we simplify that one, and if we simplify this equation, that is 312 144 25 divided by 25x, we'll get the x value to be 6 months. So this x value to be 6 months means C invests only for 6 months. C invest only for 6 months, which means in the question he asking us to find how many months after joining B did C join the business. How many months after B the person C has joined. So B joined up. So B was in the business only for 9 months, and C was in the business only for 6 months. So what is the gap between B and C? Means a 3 months gap, which means after A started the business, B joined after 3 months. After joining of B, 3 months later, C joined the business. So the answer for this particular problem will be option A. It means C joined the business after 3 months joining of B. The answer for this particular problem will be option A. And here is the next question. A, B, C started a business with a capital of, okay, capital ratio I gave it as 8 is to 9 is to 10. And after 3 months, B contributed another one third of his capital, and 3 months thereafter. So after contributing after contributing B by one third of his capital in 3 months later, so C after 3 months thereafter, C withdrew one fifth of his capital in the annual profit of 2,37,300. And what is the C share? So this is also very easiest question. All you need to do, you need to understand the question carefully. So initial ratio I gave it as 8 is to 9 is to 10. So here nothing was mentioned about A, which means A was in the business for complete year. So B invested 9 parts initially, but for 3 months. After 3 months, what happened means after 3 months, B contributed another one third of his capital. So initial amount of B was 9 parts. After 3 months, he is investing one third extra. So what is one third of 9? So one third of 9 is of 3. So which means B invested 12 now. So for how many months? For the remaining 9 months. And for regarding C, after another 3 months thereafter. So after 3 months, C withdrew one fifth of his capital, which means after 6 months from the start of business. So initially for 10 parts of amount was invested for 6 months, and after that he withdrew one fifth of his capital. So after withdrawing his one fifth of capital, so what is one fifth of 10? So one fifth of 10 is 2. So he is withdrawing. So which means he is taking out of his money from the business, which means now he has only 8 parts of money for the remaining 6 months. And if we simplify this equation, it will become what of 32 is to 45 is to 36. So the total profit in the question I gave it as 2,37,300, which means 32 plus 45 plus 36, that will be equals to how much? 113 parts. That 113 parts will be equals to 2,37,300, which means one part will be equals to 2,100. So what we need to find here? So we need to find the value of C here. So C is of 36 parts value we need to find. So one part is of 2,100. So then 36 parts will be equals to how much? 75,600. 75,600, which is presented in option C. Let's move to the next question here. And here is the next kind of question. Verma opened a workshop investing an amount of rupees 1 lakh rupees and invested an additional amount of 10,000 every year. And after 2 years, Sharma joined in with a capital with an investment of 1,25,000. Thereafter, Sharma didn't invest any additional amount. After completion of 4 years from the opening of workshop, they earned a profit of 2,13,000. Then, what is the share of Verma in the profit? So, read the question carefully. You will get to know this question. So, initially, Verma opened a workshop with a capital of 1 lakh rupees. After the end of each year, or at the end of each year, he invests 10,000 extra. So the total business was run for 4 years, which means first year he invested 1 lakh, and in the second year he invested 1 lakh 10,000, and in the next year he invest 1 lakh 20,000, in the next year he'll invest 1 lakh 30,000. Likewise, he increases his amount by 10,000 each year. But Sharma invested only 1 lakh 25,000 for 2 years, which means Sharma was in the business only for 2 years. And if we arrange the question here, so Verma first year 1 lakh rupees, second year 1 lakh 10,000, third year 1 lakh 20,000, and fourth year 1 lakh 30,000. So this was the total investment in the 4 years of Verma. And the total investment of or the profit of Sharma is of 25 125 into 2, which means Sharma was in the business only for 2 years. And if we simplify this one, it will become what 46 is to 25. So here the total profit he gave us 2,13,000, which means its 71 parts will be equals to 2,13,000, which means one part will be equals to 3,000. What is asking the question? What is the profit or what is the share of Verma? So share of Verma is of 46 parts. One part is of 3,000. So what is the 46 parts value? So 46 parts value is of 46 into 3,000, that will be equals to 1,38,000. So the profit received by Verma in the total profit is of 1,38,000, which is presented in option A. Okay. Let us make this as a homework question for you, or let us try to solve this question, and meanwhile comment your answers in the comment box. We'll continue the next video from this problem. Meanwhile, you can post your answers in the chat box. We'll meet in the next video by continuing from this. Have a good day. We'll meet in the next video.